With this video, we are going to show you how SketchUp and FELIX Render are complementary. Okay, so here we have a simple 3D file from SketchUp, and we are going to import it in FELIX. You simply have to say import. You choose the SketchUp file. You create a project and a scene as usual in FELIX. You import it, and here we have the SketchUp file. Okay. Here we are starting the live window, the real-time window on the cloud. Be aware that from now on, every time you do a change to the geometry in SketchUp and you save the file, FELIX will update it automatically. Okay, so no need to import it again. So here we are going to use a better environment. So here, just from the environment area here. And here with the N key or with the slider on the left side, we change the orientation. Here we created a new view. One more view. Here the camera is going to be in the interior of the space. The space is dark because the glazing is still solid, but now we are going to add the glass, and light floats in, and auto exposure is automatically compensating the exposure variation. Now we start to add some materials to the file. So we start with the water of the pool, then we go with the concrete of the walls there. We change the scale of the concrete and the rotation. In that case, we change the scale of the texture from 4.6 meters to 6 meters. We add some different concrete to the pool wall here. We edit the texture slightly and did it slightly brighter. What you see there on the left side is the layer list, let's say the material list you created in SketchUp. Here we add some wood to the deck. We are going probably to change the scale of the deck. Okay, we changed the scale. Now we are looking for a wood material for the perimetral frame. Okay, here we have it. Here we are redefining again the texture alignment. We change the saturation of the texture, and probably slightly the brightness is slightly too bright. We make it darker again. Now we choose a material for the ground, okay, to not have that white surfaces here around, which are boring. We look for a concrete material for the floor, and for the exterior floor and for interior floor, we changed the hue of their slightly reddish texture on the outside. And here we are going to change the appearance of that concrete floor, which now has a very strong texture, but we want a whiter and more elegant floor here. So we have some texture on that, but very slight, so we get that nice bright feeling. We have to add a wood to the door. It seems we didn't like it, so we replaced it. We have now to redefine again the orientation with the 3 vertex snap of FELIX for the texture alignment. Here we added some wood tool to the staircase. We add some steel to the frame and some steel to the cables. And roughly here we are. Now we are in the interior. We change with the N key again the sun position. By pressing F8, you go to the top view, and now we add some furniture to the scene. A sofa in there. A puff. We're going to replace the materials of that objects. We are going to add a blue velvet. Here we have the blue velvet. We are going to add a glass table here in the front, the chill out area. Here we have it. We are going to rotate it slightly. Here we have the glass table. We are also going to add a new table to put in the dining area, which is on the upper left area here. So we like that table and we drag it on the top view here. Okay, there we have it. And we have to add some stools there too, some chairs. Here we have one, which is in this guy. With Shift key, you can easily duplicate an object. Okay, and then we edit the rotation with the gizmo. We are going to replace the wood material, the glass of the table with the wood. We wanted to change the yellow fabric of this chairs too, and we're going to replace the frame material too. Okay, so with a darker frame. Here we have it. Now we are going to play here with the kitchen. We have to find a counter, so we go in counters, we take a counter there, okay, and we again in the top view we try to position it slightly better. Sometimes the section of the walls is not showing up very well because there is just nothing there. So you have to play with both, okay, the perspective view and with that. And so here we have we put some shelves on the back. Going to use that Zahadid shelves here. We are going to replace this green material with a dark paint. And we brighten up slightly the concrete wall there. Was too dark. So roughly, we have still to add some wood materials there on the left side. This and we are going to change the material of the counter. So we just told FELIX to look only for woods which have a dark tone. Okay, so it filters the library and catches only those woods. Okay, and here are wood for the library on the left side. Here we are going to orient with the XY tool, XY tool, the orientation of the wood veins, and we give a different color to the window frame. Now we are ready to play with lighting. So the first thing is we clone the view, and to this view we choose a different environment, a darker environment. And to the default light intensity, we turn it very low, okay, in order to make it really like a night view. And we put the automatic exposure and manual on the upper left corner. You have the AM option. So now we are sure that the lighting is more controlled in the situation. Otherwise, the automatic exposure will brighten up everything all the time. To get the right medium brightness, the automatic exposure is looking for. And now just drag lighting fix. So here we add the two wall washers. Here we adding a pendant liked. So when it's selected, now we center it on the glass table there, and now we are probably going to add the first pendant lamp there. Fine. We center it on the table using the numeric controls there. We lift it up slightly. Okay, it's very strong. 7,000 lumen is a lot, so we lower it down to 1,200, which is more reasonable. What is missing here? This area is very dark, so we are going to add some spotlights here. So we just pick up a spotlight there of that, guys. Even this one, they have a very strong intensity, so we have to settle it down to 400 lumen. That's correct. And now we see they have a very closed photometry. As you see, they make a small light splotch on the floor. We like that. Okay, make it more intimate, everything. And now we cloned that, and we are going to move and put a second and then a third light source. And that is how it looks like. We are going to add a spotlight even here on the fireplace, and we have to lit up the upper floor because we will make some exterior views, and it's not nice if the interior is very dark. So we just put some lights, whatever, just to lit up slightly the space. That's very quick. Just take the lighting fixture, you drag them. It could be this one. You could put some floor standing lamps of the library, some table lamps. It doesn't matter. Just something that gives some depth to the space and makes them not look so dark. Okay. It's very nice to play with lighting here in FELIX because you get this very accurate, immediate feedback. See what we have now from the outside. What we see, this space here is very dark, so we add a wall washer even here to lit up that wall. And we have this lighting fixture in which we will place in the center a small spotlight. There is it. Just drag it and top. FELIX will do the rest. It has already an emitter material on it. You see the photometry is correct, and we have that nice lighting. We use the same spot here on the entrance for the door. Do we like it? We like it. What else is missing here? Something missing? Yes, we are going to place some candles here on the deck. So we are going to use the line tool. We just have to select a candle. We have to select and order, line ordered, and the number of candles we want. And so FELIX is going to put you as many candles as you want very quickly with no troubles from one point to another. And that is what we get. Now we prefer the highlight of the environment on the other side. It gives you some nicer depth to the glazing. And now we are going to talk about vegetation. We are going to work with the top view. Top view is F8 key. To go back to the perspective view, you click on F1. Here we choose one ikebana, and with this ikebana, with this a wild grass ikebana, we are going to paint some grass areas here in that space. So 20 centimeters of the brush is too small. We put 40 centimeters. Here now we can start to paint. It's like a Photoshop but in 3D for garden, to play with green. You can paint the grass, you can paint rocks, you can paint woods, you can paint whatever. Okay, and it's quite flexible and powerful. You can change with ease the scale of the elements you paint. Now here we add some gravel, you see. Fine. We are going to play again with that ikebana. It's the same as before, and we are probably improving some arrows. We also applied the same ikebana on this background surface. Just take the ikebana and drag it on the surface and he will apply it everywhere. Here we are making that a bit thicker. Here we put a different kind of grass, a more controlled grass, let's say. Here is something missing. And now we are going with the camera there and we're looking what is going on. That is what we get. This grass is too tall, we have to decrease it in size. So we have to click again on the paint tool, we have to click on the paint layer, which is the third one, and say scale, and scale it down. And so now it's smaller and it looks nicer. We are going to add some trees now. We unlocked the camera position. So you see now we can move the camera freely on the left side, while on the right side the live window is frozen. It's not really frozen, just the camera position, but it will update whatever you do on the left side. Okay, so while you're adding trees, it's very good because you keep the focus on the view you have, okay, and you are able to play on the other view. It's very useful. Here we added some bidimensional grass to the white surface there in the background. We are moving. Now it's a matter of compositing the green stuff in a more interesting way to make it not so flat like it's now. And you will see in a few seconds we get something slightly more interesting. Here we decided to desaturate slightly the foliage of the tree. It was too greenish. Okay, we are going to add a line of that poplars on the left side of the camera in order to create some shadows, to have that trees casting some shadows on the ground to make it more interesting. Here even the foreground. Okay, now we did the error to use the same amount for just this short, but we can delete them with ease, so it's fine. It's nice like that. I like it. We had some bushes there. You can delete parts of that anytime. It's like just a brush. Here we are adding some of this other kind of brushes one by one, okay, to have a bit more control of what we are doing. With the shift key, remember, you can clone easily whatever object. Here I rewired slightly the exposure to make the picture slightly darker. we put it in manual now. You see, that's too dark. We remove the automatic exposure, and we are controlling now the exposure manually, which is very often at the end of the game. It's better, okay, because you have higher control of what the final picture will look like. Here we are hiding quickly the water surface in order to be able to paint some green stuff inside the pool, okay, to give that effect of like a biodynamic pool, okay, with some bamboo. Here we are making a vertical offset to the paint layer, so that is very useful if you want to play with rocks and to make them sink into the ground. So or even here to just make trees with the trunk shorter, or bamboo with the shorter trunk. You just use that vertical offset. You can use it in many situations. We add some bamboo here to that small piece of ground, and probably we are going to add too a small ikebana, grass ikebana here on that tiny surface. Nice. That we wanted exactly that. Okay. We are very close to the end of our job. We are very close because we start to like that. Here we have the water, the green. You can make the live window. You can put them in full screen too with the B key. Okay, and here we are. we cloned the night view we created at the beginning, and we converted it in an exterior view. Now we have an exterior night view, you see.